basically we are a marketplace where people buy and sell assets to do better music. What we do the most is templates, guys. We're over 7,000 templates from favorite producer. This means I basically make a full track, then I package it, put it on the site. You can download it and learn like on every channel, basically composition, engineering, mixing, and sometimes even mastering of the track. So I mean, those templates are really full of value. You buy them, you keep them for a lifetime. You can always download them. Like there's no limit of download. And that's it, guys. This is WeMakeDanceMusic.com. Check it out. That's it with WeMakeDanceMusic.com. Guys, okay, this is episode 299, which is a whole lot of episode. And today I'm gonna go a little bit deeper. If you're maybe a beginner, maybe it's not gonna be for you. Maybe you just use presets and do music with it. Great, this is also good. If you want to dig a little bit deeper into production, you have to get into synthesis, guys. Synthesis is very important. You know, you can use a sample and have fun with it, but synthesis is like literally the holy grail of electronic music production when you come to do music and you want to really create your own style, do your own sound. So I'm gonna make techno, but I'm gonna put emphasis on synthesis. So basically, I'm gonna make every sound from scratch, including the drums. So basically, I have a drum kit here that's called Synthesia, and all the drums are even synthesis, so I will be able to mold the drum to shape the parts one by one. It will not be extremely complicated. The track's gonna be quite basic because I'm gonna focus on every element and showing you how it's done. And of course, guys, I'm gonna make 3 templates, one for Logic, Ableton, and FL Studio, where you're gonna have those sounds that I will create and you can make your own. It's gonna be loaded if you're in the Ableton, and FL Studio is going to be loaded into a sampler, but you can still mold it and push the video and do what I am doing in your own sampler. Maybe get the template, maybe not. It's okay, guys. Let's get started from absolute scratch. 125 BPM. I'm going to give myself a bit of volume here. I would so love to do this in the speakers, but then the mic will pick it up. So I still have to find a solution for that. Maybe set like a really threshold for the mic. I mean, I will look into it in the future. Anyway, for now, this is it. This is gonna start the kick here. Of course, gonna open the channels. I'm gonna go here to my synth bass drum channel. I'm gonna do a basic C. Really, there's no need to go into. So basically, I'm inputting some MIDI. Taking this MIDI here, quantizing it to make sure it's on beat. I'm gonna make the length quite long and quite the same, so I can really mold the kick sound in the synthesis. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to replicate it here. Then I'm going to do a loop. Then I'm going to go here. So like I said, guys, we have this kick sound. So it's synthesis in the sense that here I can change the pitch. I think it's quite good at this. It's a bit low. Maybe let's put it on or closer to the root key. No. Actually like it there. You have the pitch, the tone, which will not be affected so much. The shape, where you can really have the start of the waveform be more punchy. The decay, very important for us. So if you really want like a big techno like kick that will really push in the speaker, that's very important. Saturation, distortion really. So if you want something a bit more edgy, add some distortion. Personally, actually I'm gonna put a little, remove a little bit of decay, just right. Just want a little bit more. Like I would like to be able to see the waveform that I produce. I would have to import it. The tone I think is right. The shape is right. Saturation is good. We have a little bit of saturation. This is in mono, very important because it's a kick drum. Sound better in mono. Easier to mix. I'm gonna take the MIDI part here, poof, replicate it into the snares. I'm gonna do only the second and the fourth, of course, and do that replicated here. Now I'm gonna go into the snare. I think the snare, I'm gonna right away expand this a little bit. And the snares, personally, I like to vary. So either I put a send, I'm gonna give you one. The first trick I would do is probably take the send, and since I have a delay here, I could play with that, or I could play with the decay of the snare here. I think I'll go with the decay. I could do both, you know, really, if we want to. So I'm gonna do touch here, then I'm gonna go into the decay. It's like the opening and closing, you know, and then I'm gonna go into the automations here. look at what we do, the decays here. So we have a lot of variations, of course, in those. I'm gonna baseline it completely. So I would do those two here with more of an accent. And then if you want to make things easy, you can basically recopy this part. Do Control A, right click, name region by tracks, because it's not a kick now, it's a snare. So okay, you know, this variation, it's not too static. I guess if you want to make it a little bit next level again, I'm gonna do touch again, and then I'm gonna send it to bus 2. So basically on those 4 bars here, the first part is to have a bit more decay, and the second part is to send it to the delay, so it will build up as it goes. Let's listen. I think there's something a bit kind of gritty on the bus 2. Let's see what's on the bus. It's a bit crusher. I'll remove that. Don't like that very much. Again, we can take our MIDI regions here. I'm in a good mood, guys. I went for a run today. I was so busy, I couldn't run because I'm busy building the studio, literally installing doors, laying floors. Whew, lots of work. Now it's thumbs up, guys, if you like the floor. Give me at least thumbs up for anything, really. For the beats. So this is using synthesis and effect, you know, to build like something a bit more exciting. So I'm gonna go into a hi-hat. I'm gonna again copy the MIDI from the kick. It's easier, so I have MIDI, so I don't have to compose at every bit. Take the first hat here. Usually the hat goes on the opposite of the kick, so you can see the kick was ending here. The hat will literally start here. Again, I'm gonna replicate it. Control A, name region by track. There's a reverb here that I might try. A bit too much top end. The delay is on the same time, on 16, so doesn't really work for what we're doing. Still go in the drum synth here. See if we can add a bit of decay. Dirt is good. No, not too much dirt. I think it's basically, you want it to snap right away, you want to have a little bit of a delay. See, as you build the element, you can really hear more of the snare effect that I put in. I think I'll leave the snare like this, you know, I'm not gonna go too deep into this. I'm gonna go into a shaker quickly, a really quick shaker actually. I want it to be, I don't want to copy it, I just want to move it first. Let's move just this here, and then have this here. Leave the space where the hi-hat hit, you know, so the shakers are there. They're not on time with the hi-hat. I think we're a little bit low. Put it in the back really. I'm gonna do two is I'm gonna do sample delay. Sample delay, that means that the sample won't start exactly on time. But give a bit of a like stereo effect. It's a bit of a feeling that's more natural, because when you actually drum, you're never really exactly on time. So this is 3 and 6 milliseconds. 6 exactly, to be precise, 6.0. So without, more centered, width, definitely expand, kind of like in the stereo field. Let's put it where it belongs, really in the back. It's there, not quite present, you know, not too much. I think I'm gonna go into the first instrument now. I think it would be a bass. I one thing, there's two elements, that is to me very important to a techno track. So the first one is of course a bass. I'm gonna take something fairly simple and I will mold it. Not very exciting. I like this better, it's a bit in reverse. Again, basic, super simple. We're working more with synthesis. We want to make the most out of the tools we have here. The tool that I have now is Alchemy, which is a very, very powerful synth. So this is good. I'll put this one a bit longer. Oops. Just this one a bit longer. And as I promised, of course, we're going to synthesis, which is what we're here for. With the basic synthesis here, we're gonna go a bit deeper into the waveform, but like basically decay. So you want it to be really, really no sustain and just the plucks with the decay in the middle. Not to add sustain. If you want to have the release is gonna be longer than the sustain itself. I'm gonna go into more advanced. So you can see here and I'm changing completely the way it's executed. And of course you have a filter on there. There's a low pass envelope here. Ooh, I like this little chunky hit there. More sustain, less. Just want a little pluck. So basically that straight to the chunky bass. If you have that, you just bring the pluck. If you want to have more envelope, less sustain. The attack here, so we can basically delay this little pluck. That could be interesting if we maybe play with the sustain. Ooh, this is nice. A bit more resonance, a bit more luminescent. We'll try it. So what this tells me right away is I'm like, okay, this is like a fairly original bass sound. I think I'm gonna go into automate something in there. So I'm gonna touch. I'm gonna automate the LP delay. So I'm gonna start it low and play with it. Just the right automation, I'm doing that, and then I'm gonna start here. It reminds me of maybe Josh Winky kind of thing. So if you make music like that with so much craft in behind it, so much like kind of vibe into it, it really creates something that's much more organic than if you use, let's say, a sample pack, something like that, because you go into the nitty-gritty of the synthesis and you're working with it. So I think I'll keep this like that. So for me in techno, as an example, I like to have elements that speak to each other. So basically, I'm gonna take one of my bass here, and I'm gonna look, you know, I have a space here, turn, and then a little bit of a space here. So I'm gonna think, okay, if I have a space here, I'm not gonna do it on the beat, so I'm gonna do it here. I'm gonna put an element here, and then maybe another element here. We'll have to time them properly. So I'm gonna remove all the automation, Control, Command, Shift, Tap. Oh, that was the wrong channel. Control Z. Other channel. Command, Control, Shift, and backward or delete all the automation element, because I just replicated my channel, so I can be able to go a bit faster. So I'm gonna bring this up. What I'm looking for is not this. I'm gonna go into, for the second element, into strings. So basically I have an idea of an element. I'm gonna put it, so I'm confused a little bit. I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna go into strings here, poof. And then I'm gonna pick a string that will be, this is a bit loud here, of course. Okay. So I'm gonna do just one hit there. Let's give it a try. Then of course we're gonna, not what I'm looking for, guys. I'm definitely looking, not what I'm looking for. We'll get there. Oh. I'm not sure about the timing either, so I can actually select all of them, move them. Not quite. So I'm thinking maybe I would make it a bit richer by creating like a really quick chord here instead of having a simple hit. Not quite yet. Definitely that. Okay, now can play a little bit with the decay. Add some release. Smack, that's a good smack for sure. Now let's have a look at, we have modulation effect. Some kind of a nice kind of clap there. Let's go into advanced and have a look. So it's going straight into closing there, because there's many layers in there. Somehow the controls have very little effect onto this. Let's have a look what is being triggered here. The source, strings, the kick, and a clap. Whoa, I have to listen to this without See the kick? I cannot really hear it. I think it's more like of a dynamic, like punchy kind of effect thing. Okay, this is odd that I'm changing the tune and it's not. No, this is good like this. Oh. So this is a pretty complex already patch. I don't understand if I raise the decay. No, so there's nothing more in the waveform for it to continue to be open here. So it goes here and then it drops immediately. There's the whole thing here. So the attack has to be really early. So we'll continue with a more like a simpler synth sound, so I can show you some techniques, guys. I think it's pretty cool, both of those together already. However, I'm gonna take like a synthesizer that's a bit easier to understand. I'm gonna go into Retro Synth. Which is here. It's a replica of a Moog, literally. There's different modes, different sound. I'm gonna start from scratch. Do something a bit different. Put it to sync here, put it to 1/8. I can do LFO either positive here or negative here. Can change the waveform, of course. I like this little idea of a bass like this that I can open later and play with it. So instead of using something like an ARP, I'm going to use synthesis and filtering to make it interesting. It's kind of really from absolute scratch again, because basically I'm taking the root of this and I just took basic presets and then I will mold it into what we're looking for. I'm also gonna mix it a little bit, remove a bit of the low end. I still want this nice, you know, vibey frequency here around 150. Oh, something happened there. Control replicate here. Okay, so let's automate a little bit. I would like to automate, but just this parameter here. The cutoff here. So if I go here, I will automate many. There's more chances it will move up. But if I go here, I can automate only this. Again, do touch. Do that here. There's some frequency that would be more interesting than others to play with. So you always have to keep that in mind. You know that sometimes the biggest thing that I hear personally, some tracks is some people put way too much top end and they open the filter way too high when you can modulate it and go around 400, 1000, and it's just more than enough. So that we just open and close it. This is we want to make it a little bit cooler. I'm gonna use the delay of the drum machine, send this to the delay a little bit to create a bit more dimension. Go here into the EQ, drop the lows. continue a bit into this retro synth kind of synthesis thing and play. I have a lot of noise here. Usually a bit of noise mixed with a nice oscillator shape is good. Not too much. Let's see if we change the semitone. We want to drop it a little bit. No, actually higher, I think will work. No. Oh. So this basically changed the waveform from being closer to the start or to the end and really changed the range of the sound. Just a normal wave. This is normal saw, normal triangle. And it's opening slowly. We don't have so much LFO send. Could really put a lot more. A bit too loud. I think what I would do too to make things more interesting for this sound as an example, I'm gonna take the compressor. I'm gonna take it. Wow, this is so small, this thing. Ah, that's a bit better. I'm gonna sidechain it here. The sidechain is there. Sidechain it, take the kick, take the instrument. Kick 1, Cynthia. So we can see the kick is here. Fast attack, fast release, 4:1 ratio for me at least. Let's check without. With. A lot livelier. Or a lot more lively, I don't know, livelier? I don't know if you could say this. So now with 3 good elements that we can play with, definitely. I think that would be great to play with too is a pad, and a pad in this could definitely be interesting. I'm gonna take this pizzicato kind of vibe here. I'm gonna turn this into a pad by going in here, taking my MIDI. And extending it like this. And I'm gonna reset this to default. So I did reset the wrong one to default. Okay. Everything's good there. So what I want is this one here to be default. And then try to create a pad. So that means creating a pad is maybe a longer thing, like, you know, put the LFO to maybe half a bar. So you can hear it already. I don't think I will do even a bar. I want to make the pad definitely a little bit richer. I'm gonna drop here a chorus. I want to expand this to something a little bit longer, so we're really able to exploit the synthesis. So let's see here. So we could play with this here and really, oh, you can go crazy amount of bar, 4 bars. Let's close it. You can play with the envelope here, here. You can do an envelope opening like this. course I can. And then close it, not abruptly, but that's a bit better. 10 seconds, you have the decay here, which you can play with, of course. Let's see, we put like 5 seconds here. Let's put in the middle. This sound is, you know, it's okay, it's a bit boring. I would definitely send it to a reverb. I take again the reverb from the drum machine to make things uncomplicated. So now we've been able to basically have the pad open and go down here. Just before the next sequence will start. So if we decide to sequence it and have it full, now we have a little bit of something. I'm not too sure I'm on the right thing. No, I wasn't, as a matter of fact. I'm going to twist it a little bit. We can add some sine into the amplifier, so basically it creates a bit like of a, not a bit, but quite an analog effect. Chorus I don't like very much. So because the envelope is doing this here, my LFO is rendered a little bit like kind of useless, so I could make it a bit trippier by doing a 1/16 here. So we can hear what I am doing now is basically the LFO is engaging here in this waveform, which is making this stuttering effect. Without would be flat like this. I put it in. I can really put it full, but it's not what I'm looking for. I just want a little bit of it. Then I could also send the shape modulation to the LFO. So something a bit even funkier. It's getting more interesting. What I would like to put in, you know, I'm not gonna go so much further into this session. I'm just gonna introduce, let's say, a little bit of percussions. So I'm gonna go into a tom. Just a simple tom like this. And again, because it's a synth, it's a drum synthesizer here, I can do many things with it. Like playing with a decay, let's say. Let's listen. It's a very low, we're a little bit low for this, I think I'm gonna go a little bit higher. Let's try a 7th or 5th. Definitely a different vibe. A bit more decay. The tension is basically the tension on the drum, which will result on much different punch when it hits. I think that sounds quite good. I would just try to do. I like to put that in my tracks these days, like a rolling hat, like something that rolls in the back that brings more energy and let's say make it more hypnotic. Again, it has to be really mixed well, because if not, it sounds like this. This is not right, guys. This is absolutely wrong. It really has to be in the back, like kind of sustaining the beat, not this. This is. I already have this shaker that I did earlier. I just want this as a kind of a supplement. And now one last element that I could put in there. I don't know really what I could put in there that would be nice. Maybe we can play with an ARP a little bit. I mean, this is a bit RP, this here. I definitely went into some fairly advanced synthesis here. What do we have here? I think I'm gonna go back into alchemy here. And I'm gonna go into more like a key, more like a glassy kind of sound. This is definitely a completely different type of synthesis, the bells and stuff like that. That I like. Let's add a layer of this. So just to make it more complete, to have a sound that's more hypnotic and worthy. Again, we're talking about creative synthesis, so we're using synthesis as our friend to be able to do something with it. Let's listen to the patches here. I like this one. Bring it over a little bit. So with all those elements that were monotone, what I'm bringing now is I'm bringing a little more like of a soundscapey kind of thing, because I have this bell kind of glassy sound on top, and I have different elements. And of course, guys, this is gonna be it for this episode. I'll turn that into a template. I'm gonna put on a lot more work into it to make it for you guys, so you guys can download it, have a lot of fun with it. Of course, watch this tutorial over and over and over again if you want, and you have to take a second to smash that like button because you're still watching. And if you're still watching, any form of payment, glorify me a little bit, just hit the like button, subscribe, and until next time, guys, may the sound be with you.